Welcome back to Cooking from Scratch. It's Melissa, and I'm very excited about this episode today. For those of you guys who are like me who wander about the YouTube sphere, I'm sure you've seen a lot of advertisements lately for those meal kit services, the ones that they send you all the ingredients and you do all the cooking at home. They all look pretty interesting. And in a day and age where we're all trying to save some money and get the most bang for our buck, those meal kit services sound like they might be a decent deal. But are they? Are we really getting a better value by going through a meal kit service? Are we getting better quality than what we could get at home? Well, today we're going to put that to the test. I have evaluated 6 of the most popular meal kit services. I'll flash the infographic here in a bit so you guys can see how they stack up against each other in terms of price, in terms of offers, in terms of even do they charge you shipping. And then we're actually going to break one of these bad boys open. Yes, I went ahead and signed up for a service. I paid money for it. All that said, let's get into it. So before we really dig into each of these services, let's take a look at what the meal kit services are really claiming as the benefits that they're offering. And I break this down into about 3 categories. First is the cost. Let's be honest, the cost of food, both buying from the store as well as in a restaurant, we can all admit those have been going up. So the value of a meal kit service, being able to buy in bulk and being able to give out the pieces to the people who order them, there could be some value there. We need to dig into that, and that we're going to go into a little bit later. So if a meal kit can actually charge you less money than what you would have to spend at a grocery store or at a restaurant, that could be a value. The second benefit is the convenience factor. More and more, a lot of people are working longer hours at work, and by the time they get home, how much energy does everyone really have to spend to want to go out to the grocery store, pick up all the items, come home, cook everything, clean everything, and then try to enjoy what's left of your night? I think we can all admit that could be why the urge to cook at home has really been on the decline. So while the meal kit services don't cook the food for you, there are services that do that if that's what you're looking for. They at least solve the problem of making sure the groceries arrive to your door. But then again, so do a lot of grocery stores. You could order it online and have it arrive at your door as well. So they're kind of keeping parity on that, I would say. So the third value is what I like to call ingredient utilization. And if you ever tried to cook for one, I think you might have come across this as well. Let's say you want to be adventurous and you want to cook a crazy impressive dish. The problem is all these ingredients that you're having to buy, fresh dill, creme fraiche, all of that, you can't buy just the little bit that you need for your dish. You have to buy a whole amount of it, which means that not only are you having to pay more, now you have to come up with dishes to use the rest of that. And unless you like eating the same dish 5 or 6 times a week, that may or may not be your thing. That was, for me, being a single person, a great value of the meal kit services because they only send you exactly what you need. You don't have a tub of creme fraiche just sitting in your fridge wondering, what the hell am I going to do with this? So before we break into one of these boxes, let's take a look at how meal kits work. For most of these services, you put money into your account, and using that account, you actually buy the boxes for the individual weeks. Once you select the boxes, you simply pick a date for delivery, and then it shows up on your door. Can we talk for a second here? Because I know this issue has come up a lot in 2018. Let's talk about sponsored videos for a second, because I want you guys to know where I'm coming from on this. Now, like yourselves, I've also been done a little dirty by a couple of influencers who have raved about a particular product. Oh, you have to have it. Oh, it's the best thing in the world. And then you click on the link and it sends you to some weird URLs before you wind up on the page. And what you're not being told most times is that they're making money off of the sale. Now, is making money off of YouTube videos a bad thing? No. Influencers should make money for their work, but they need to be upfront about what you're getting in terms of their opinion. So that when an influencer says this product is the best thing in the world, they're not saying that to try to move product. Here and now, I'm gonna make a promise to you guys, and keep me honest here. If ever I am getting money from a company, either for a video or if a product sells, I will not only put it in the description, I will tell you in the video. More importantly, if it is a sponsored video, I will not take deals where I have to say, this is the best product in the world, or in my opinion, this is the best. I will give you the pros, I will give you the cons, and I will tell you to make up your own minds. So now that we've cleared that up, let me be very clear here. I am not sponsored by any meal kit services. There are no affiliate links down below. They will just send you to the site. I make no profit off of that. Jesus, all right. Oh, okay. So I'll be honest. I put all 6 of them on a wheel and I spun the wheel to see which one I was gonna get. And Blue Apron wound up being the one to pick. So first off, let's take a look at quality. If most of the prices are relatively the same in what the different meal kit services are offering you, where's the distinction? Where would you know where to go to get the best deal? So the first thing I want to do is I want to take a look at the quality of the ingredients that you're being shipped. For this cause, I actually picked a dish where I thought we could probably really strength test that. So what this is a shrimp with orzo dish. I forget the actual name. I'll put it somewhere in here, because seafood is a very, very good indicator of quality. More than anything else, I didn't want to go with pasta because fresh or not fresh, it's really not going to make a difference. You really can't quite tell on the quality, but you can tell when you're getting good or bad seafood. Let's pop this sucker open. All right, first up, can I just say, I've always wanted to do one of those unboxing videos. They always look like so much fun. All right, nutritional info, not bad. Let's see, the one that we picked was the Calabrian, I don't know, shrimp with orzo with zucchini. So as packaged, 480 calories, as prepared, 470. Nice, we lose some calories by cooking. The fat's a little up there, but you know what? I'm not going to be picky on this because from all these services, almost all of them had a low-cal option and a vegetarian option, not vegan. Let me be really, really, really clear about this. If you prefer to eat vegan, or if you have to eat vegan because you have a food allergy, they're 2 separate things. The first one is fine. The second one, be very, very careful. Now, all of the box services say this, but you really have to dig to find it. If you have a food allergy, this will not be the way to go, because all of these places are packaged in places that have shellfish, they have pine nuts, they have practically everything you could possibly be allergic to. So if you have a food allergy, there may be a meal kit out there that's specifically catered to that, but make sure you look, because this was packaged in a place that had all of that. Calabrian, not sure. Shrimp with orzo with zucchini. That's nice. So they tell you the ingredients that should be in the box. We've got shrimp, zucchini, creme fraiche. Ooh, that'll be a good indicator of freshness. Calabrian, chili paste, grated Parmesan cheese, another good indicator of freshness. Orzo pasta, we're not gonna be able to read anything off of that. 2 cloves of garlic. Okay, I like to see how they package that, because if that's packaged near water, you're gonna get rot on that garlic. 1 lemon. Citrus tends to stand up pretty well to shipping and long travel, so I'm not really looking for freshness off that. And 1 tablespoon of capers. Depending on how they're packaged, we may not get a read on that. So we'll be able to tell off the shrimp. Not really going to be able to tell off the zucchini, and that's something I found in a lot of these, is that the vegetables that you get tend to be the ones that stack up better to shipping. So they don't tend to offer you a lot of things with fresh tomatoes or things like that that won't stand up well to shipping. So I'm not exactly sad about that. Hey chef, welcome to Blue Apron. That's cute. Let's talk recipes. Before you cook a Blue Apron meal in your kitchen, we cook it in our kitchen. I'm assuming they mean that they test this first. Our team of classically trained chefs, recipe writers, former food bloggers, and nutritionists test and test and test every single recipe we send you until the flavors are just right and the instructions are as clear and straightforward as possible. Why? Because we know you're busy, and that's a good reason for a meal kit. Because who wants to go shopping the second you get home? Because on some nights we know you have 20 minutes flat to get dinner on the table. By the way, most of these kits, they're between 20 and 45 minutes to get it done. But I appreciate that. Ooh, flashcards. Cook with confidence. We guarantee freshness. Phone number to contact in case anything is damaged or missing. All right. Prep. Common cuts, fine chop, thin slice, rough chop, small dice, medium dice, large dice. Okay, so they are going to teach you the tips and tricks on how to get those, but that would take a lot more work. That's cool, so you are learning some intermediate tips here. Savor, meat your meat. Pat your meat dry to help give it a deep brown sear. All right, is it done yet? They give you the levels of doneness. Nice touch. And the degrees too, I appreciate that. Seasoning, season with salt and pepper. We tell you to season a lot. And there's a reason. Seasoning goes beyond flavor. For instance, salt can help an onion break down and caramelize faster. That's true. Salt, we prefer kosher salt. It's kosher, meaning you're adding less salt as you go. I don't know if that's true, but I'd have to look that up. Nice. I wonder if this probably would come with every box. So after a while, you're going to be throwing these out. That is one downside to the meal kit, and it's kind of a necessary evil, I would say, is that you're going to have a lot of packaging to pitch. I do believe a lot of these are recyclable, so that's a bonus, but after a while, this stuff's going to start accumulating in your house or your apartment. Now, this has been sitting since about 11 o'clock earlier today. It is 3 o'clock, so let's see how well it keeps its refrigeration. Because this one does not allow you to set the specific time in which it arrives. There are some of the meal kits that do allow you to do that, which is nice, especially if you tend to live in the areas where you get boxes stolen. And also make sure it's nice and cold. Here we go. So we have the zucchini. Nice and firm. There's a little bit of damage on here, but that tends to be pretty typical wherever you get zucchini. But we're going to go to the store and we're going to match this quality for quality. So we'll see how it prices out. We have our lemon, which looks like it was sent a little underripe because you can see a little bit of the green there if the camera can pick it up. But that's fine. Again, it's stuff that's being shipped. We have our orzo pasta, which this is one thing that as a single person I really like, because cooking for yourself as a single person, you tend to wind up with this huge accumulation of ingredients, all because you wanted to make one dish that required that much of fresh dill and then that much of Szechuan peppercorns, and you can't buy just that much at a store. It's frustrating. So for a single gal, a meal kit is not actually a bad idea. We have the tomatoes for the other dish, and this is interesting. Remember how I said they probably wouldn't put dishes on there that require like super fresh, perishable vegetables? Here's the proof. So these are the tomatoes for the linguine. It's canned, which not exactly is a bad thing. There are times that canned tomatoes can actually be better than the fresh tomatoes that you get in the store because they are picked underripe and they're sold that way, so you may not be getting the best freshness. If you want the best freshness for tomatoes, go to a farmer's market. Here's the garlic. Okay. So the garlic is a little moist. There's a little bit of browning on here, but I don't know if it was sent that way. We'll have to wait until we actually make this to see if there's any damage on that garlic. It's a little bit of a bummer that they didn't package that in its own packaging, especially because this thing can create some condensation. Knickknacks for the other. This is our shrimp and orzo. What do we have in here? I'm gonna pop this sucker open. Yeah, can you see? There's moisture on there. They really should have packaged that garlic separately. Garlic, onions, anything of that kind where you have that kind of papery exterior needs to stay away from liquid at all times. Actually, don't even put it in your refrigerator because it will just lead it to rot. We've got our grated Parmesan. Looks like it started off being freshly grated, aka means it didn't come out of a green tube. Scent seems about right. That may actually be fresh. We have our capers. They look pretty decent. We have our hot chili I'm gonna have to look that up. Product of Italy. Oh, it's from Italy and I can't pronounce it! All nice and hermetically sealed. And our creme fraiche. All right. I'm not gonna be making this for about an hour, but I wanna test this. I love creme fraiche, I can tell. pretty fresh. Oh, that's why this is in here. And that's why they needed to wrap the garlic. Ugh. Well, if you ever need ice, that is a brick of it. Chill first, then recycle. Defrost pack completely, cut corner and drain. Recycle empty. Oh, that's for the plastic pack. Okay. Dear God, no wonder this box was heavy. Ha ha, our shrimp. Let's take a look at this. Let's see, Pacific white shrimp with the tails on. Looks like it was vacuum sealed, so that's a good sign. But what condition was this shrimp in when it was packed? So this is one area where I think these meal kit services wind up actually making a good deal because they can buy the stuff in bulk. And they probably have some pretty good buying power that once they buy it, then they just package what they need and send it out to people. So if this does turn out to be cheaper than buying it at a store, it's actually a good deal. So the nice thing about this is that these have already been de-shelled and de-veined. You can see right here, this is split open. This is where the main vein is. Now, there is a second vein, and I don't know if the camera can pick this up, but that's one you should also remove too, because that will lead to some grittiness that you're not gonna like. A little bummed they didn't take that one out. Although when you get them from a store, normally if they are deveined, this is the only vein that they've removed. So the difficult thing is I can't quite tell if these were previously frozen or not. And unfortunately in everything that I'm reading, it doesn't tell you if it was previously frozen. It may not be a point of contention for some people. For me, I can tell the difference because previously frozen seafood, especially shrimp, tends to cook up chewier than if they were not previously frozen. And it's all in how you actually thaw out your seafood, which we'll do a whole episode on that later. So we're gonna test this when we cook this and see how it stands up to that. So we have all of our ingredients. Looking at the quality, I'm gonna go to the store and I'm going to get all of the matching ingredients and we can be able to see side-by-side cost comparison. Are we getting a deal by going this route? Stay tuned. Ugh. And we're back. So I've now gone out to the grocery store to find all of the ingredients that we need to make this dish. So that way we can take a look at not only the quality side by side, but also take a look at the cost. To make sure I really gave this the best shot of success, I decided to go to a kind of a mid-range grocery store to find our ingredients. That was really fueled by taking a look at the quality of the ingredients and also from the standpoint of everyone at the end of the day wants to save money. That's what a good reason to get into a meal kit service is. So I went to Safeway. So Safeway for me is kind of the mid-range. You can more or less find what you're looking for. The quality is going to be about a little decent. Plus they also have the Savers card. So to start off, the cost of the box was $20. That's for 2 people. So we're looking at about $10 per plate. The total cost of ingredients from Safeway came out to be $33. It was originally $47, but we had to subtract out the cost of the wine, and that is because I just spent an hour at the grocery store at 5 o'clock on Friday. I'm having some wine. All right, let's take a look at our ingredients side by side. Okay, so for this comparison, everything on this side is going to be from the meal kit service. Everything on this side is from the store. So starting with the shrimp. So I went out and I got 10 ounces of fresh shrimp. Now, generally speaking, whenever you go to get shrimp from a case, more often than not, they were previously frozen, which upon feeling these shrimp here, I think was also the same case. So we kept even on terms of that. These are your standard white shrimp, whereas these were Argentinian, but they were on sale. The other benefit I found out is while these came in a shell, they were already deveined. So it saves me the effort from having to devein it, which I friggin' hate deveining shrimp. So the cost of the shrimp after the discount turned out to be $5. Not too bad. 10 ounces of shrimp, 10 ounces of shrimp. Quality-wise, roughly about the same. These are going to be a little bit bigger. These are smaller, but you do get more. So at the end of the day, you're getting the same amount of shrimp. It's just these are smaller and more. These are bigger than less. Next up, the creme fraiche. Now here's where I'm going to disappoint you guys, and I can already hear it in the comments. Safeway did not have creme fraiche. I know, some of these ingredients you're just not gonna find at your run-of-the-mill grocery store. Sour cream can substitute for creme fraiche if you're only looking to include it as a minor ingredient in a dish, where the star of this dish is really going to be the shrimp and it's going to be the red chili paste. We can substitute the sour cream for the creme fraiche. Final cost on the sour cream was $1.49. But remember what I was talking about in terms of ingredient utilization? We are gonna have to come up with something to use up the rest of the sour cream before it goes bad. Whereas this, it's a one-time use and you're done. Now for the chili paste. Another thing I was not able to find at Safeway, nor was I expecting to. So whereas this is an Italian red chili paste, the closest thing that I found that we can use is what's called harissa, which is actually a Moroccan red pepper paste. By the way, if you guys love red pepper, harissa is amazing stuff. Will not be exactly the same flavor for flavor, but it allows us to be able to kind of compare the two. And the total price on the harissa is $6.99. So we've already spiked that bill pretty high. Granted, we're only going to wind up using this much of this, but you can't just buy this much of this. So once again, we're gonna have to find a recipe to use the rest of this. By the way, if you're looking for one, check out the Eggs Benedict recipe. You can put this into the tomato sauce and with the eggs, oh, it's out of this world. So, as you will see, I did not get already grated Parmesan because already grated Parmesan tastes like nothing. It tastes like nothing. There's no flavor in it at all. So because we can already tell just by smelling this that there's flavor in this, we're gonna have to grate this fresh. I did not go high end on the Parmesan because off the smell alone, I can tell this isn't super high quality. So I went about mid-range on this. Cost of the cheese was $5.29. Again, same thing. We may get down to about the same dollar value when you price out just the amount that we're going to use, but you can't buy just that amount, so you have to use the rest. So if you're cooking for a large family, price-wise, these may come out to be about even, but if you're only cooking for about 2 or 3, you can start to see where dollar for dollar, a meat kit service might actually be your best bet. Next up, the capers. Now, in terms of quantity, I got a little bit close on this one, but again, we still have to use up the rest of this. Total amount of the capers, $3.49. Now for the orzo. Quantity-wise, there's still quite a lot in this. Cost of the orzo, $1.99. Finally, the produce. Didn't do too bad on the zucchini. I think quality-wise, we came out to be about even. Same for the lemons. Now this one's a little bit bigger, but I found one that was still pretty green at the top, much like this one is. So we're gonna get about the same amount of juice for each of these. And finally, the garlic. This was the smallest one that I could find. Total on the produce comes out to be about $2.65. So hopefully that'll be able to help you guys to see dollar for dollar where it makes sense for a meal kit and where it may not make sense for a meal kit. If you're cooking for a large family, you may be able to do better on a meal kit, or you may be able to do better just going to the store. In that case, you really have to factor in the other benefits of the convenience factor and also for the item utilization. All right, so all that's wrapped up. Let's go ahead and cook these. And there you have it. They weren't kidding. 20 minutes was exactly how much time that needed. So now, let's test the results. First, I'm gonna try some of the zucchini. The chili kind of gets lost a little bit in the flavor. I mean, I know it's not supposed to headline, but I think maybe next time if I do this, I'll just supplement with a little bit more of the chili paste, because the creme fraiche and the lemon's taking it over just a bit. It's paired really nicely with that with the shrimp though. So while I pour myself a glass of wine, let's quickly recap. So if you are in the market for a meal kit service, and I'll flash the infographic again so you can see how all of them kind of stack up on pricing, on shipping, on what they offer. Recap the benefits. Ingredient utilization, it's king. It gives you exactly how much you need, no more, no less, which means you don't have a bunch of ingredients just stockpiling in your fridge that you have to use up. Cost, I think, is pretty comparable. For 1 to 2 people, I think there's a definite cost savings there. For 4 people, you might come out to be about even, depending on where you shop and where you get the ingredients, to going to the store and getting the ingredients yourself. In terms of the types of recipes it gives you, I think it's great. It doesn't give you too many recipes, but then again, sometimes you can get a little overwhelmed with too many options. The cons, the packaging. Again, I think a lot of these are recyclable, so it's not like you're adding to the carbon footprint, but they will start to stack up in your house and you're gonna have to deal with them. That's pretty much it. If you guys have used a meal kit service, please let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from your guys' experience on how it worked for you, how it didn't work for you. Be sure to check us out next week as we cook up something a little bit special for that certain someone special in advance of Valentine's Day. If you'd like to get the notification, hit the subscribe button down below. And if there's anyone who you know who's been thinking about using a meal kit service but wants to know how it could or could not work for them, hit the share button below and you can send them the link. Thank you, awesome people, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!